You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, 7th day of January 2020. Welcome to the show. So glad to have you here with us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. I know we have our YouTube stream up and well. Facebook, I think I've got an issue with. And Twitter didn't want to come online. But give me a second. And we're going to see if we can fix that. Okay. It's possible I have 2 instances of Facebook running. So someone at some point during the show give me some feedback. We're still beta testing all of this, but I got to tell you, what a clever idea somebody had, because our audience is growing exponentially, and we're so just glad to have all of the new folks with us, whether you're joining us via the live stream on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, or maybe you're just catching it live from the CFRN site, we're really glad to have you with us. If you are using Facebook or Twitter to join the live show, would you do me a favor? I don't ask for much. I think this is the first thing I've asked for all year, and my goodness, it's already the 7th. Would you click that subscribe button? Now, it's not going to cost you anything, and you're not going to be pounded with a bunch of senseless emails. They just told me that the more people you get to click the subscribe button, the better it is for all folks considered. So if you could do that, I appreciate it. And now what it will do on Facebook, I'm not sure about Twitter, but not Facebook, but on YouTube, each day when the show ends, it takes about an hour, hour and a half for the program to render, as they call it, and then to be available in the archive library on YouTube. What I do know happens is if you have hit that subscribe button, and let's say you missed today's show, the second it's fully rendered and available for viewing as part of the library on YouTube, you'll get just a little pop-up in your browser. It says something like, yo, the CFRN show from today is ready to view. So, join in on the fun. Clickety-click. All right. If you can't see the screen I have up, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and that'll give you one-click access to the show each and every day. Now, that's the best method, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if you use that method to join the show each day live, you'll have access to the chat box. Now, what that means is you are able to participate in the discussion. If you have questions, maybe we say something that just doesn't quite make sense, and that happens from time to time, you can type into the chat box and go, hey, I heard what you said. English is my first language, but I got no clue what you're talking about. We'll pause and we'll go over it and try to make sure that you do understand, because we want everybody to be on the same page whenever possible. Okay? So, I think that's most of the instructions. Let's do this. Let's glance real quick at a daily chart. Then I'm going to give you the numbers from around the world. S&P daily. Okay. Now, back on this day, I do believe it was on this daily chart, we published an alert for all of our partners. I think I even did it here on the radio show. With an entry at 32.24. That number sticks in my mind. And then a target down at 32.12/13. We do know important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So it came as no surprise when price got back above the initial trigger. See, there's once. Give me twice. There's thrice. And this potentially is number 4. And if number 4 can trade below the swing low of January the 3rd, then I would say it's on like Donkey Kong. I don't know if people say that anymore, but I just did. Sending us down to the target at 31.89/90. And then down to the important number that I talked about for a couple reasons yesterday, this 31.67/68 number, because that area was good resistance. Once upon a time, this was the all-time historic high in the S&P 500 E-mini. We had a nice little retracement back to the BBC. We got to that number. We did some intraday battling, but we closed, and then we opened and closed on the following daily candle above that area. That changes the dynamic. It changes the narrative. Off we go. And here we put in a new all-time historic high, and then we put in another new all-time historic high at 61.75. Then we came back in the following session, put in a new all-time historic high at 63.50. So we've got potentially 2 back-to-back sessions here where we don't put in a new all-time historic high. You got to understand, this is rarefied air. When someone bought and sold, because it takes 2 parties to complete a transaction. You got to have a buyer, you got to have a seller. When we ticked up to I need new glasses. 32.63.5. When we ticked up there, price had never been there before, ever. It's a first time. And quite honestly, it could be the last time for a while. Eventually, we'll take that out because this is an index, and indexes are programmed. They're created to go higher over time. S&P 500 has 500 companies. The Dow has 30. You know the drill. And just using the S&P as an example, when one of those companies gets sick, misses their numbers a couple times, or has some other inter-company turmoil, possibly they're a pharmaceutical company and they miss a clinical trial, something of that nature, they can be asked to depart the premises, and then a fresh, strong bull is brought in to take their place. Okay? So that's why, yes, we're going to have retracements. Yes, we're going to have periods of time, like back in 2007, when it appeared the sky truly was falling, when the S&P fell to 666. But then what happened? It turned around and handed us what many call the greatest bull market in the history of the markets. So here we sit, kind of quietly, trading 32, 38 and a quarter right now. We've got much to talk about. Concierge Trade Alerts, Logic 247. First, Michael's going to come in and give us a recap of everything that happened in the live training room this morning. I do have a little bit of news. We'll save that until I come back. But let me give you those important numbers from around the world. These are the cash markets. Right now, the S&P, or I take that back, the Dow is down 101 points. NASDAQ is up 5.5. S&P 500 is down 7.5. And the Russell 2000 is down 5. In the commodity basket, crude oil off 70 cents, trading 62.57 last. That's a drop of a little over 1%. To be exact, it's 1.11%. And you all know that thing that floats around on the internet about every time you look at a clock, it's either 111 or 1111, or you see some series of numbers and out jumps those ones at you. They say that's the universe sending you a message. Well, I've never learned how to translate any of those messages, so I find it cute. I don't take it too seriously, but what do I know? And hey, I'm just some joker on the internet. But there's a whole lot of other jokers on the internet that think it really is a thing. So, all right. You okay, buddy? All right. Gold up $4.50, trading 1573.30 last. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei posted a solid gain of 370 points. That's over 1.5%. Shanghai up 21. Hang Seng up 95. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE had a quiet day, down 1.5 points on the session. The DAX gained 100 points. The CAC dropped 1.25 points. So, that gave us a green day in Asia, a mixed day in the UK. So far, it's a mixed Tuesday here in the US of A. So let's go to Michael, get that recap of everything that happened this morning in the live training room. And when I come back, we will talk to John. We'll take a look at the concierge. We'll take a look at the logic. And of course, answers to any and all of your questions. Michael, take it away.
Okay. Here we go.
Stefan, I don't know if you're looking at my personal page on Facebook or if you're looking at the business page, but it should be streaming live on the business page. But while I'm on this short break, I'll do a double check. Okay? Okay, Michael, it is all yours.
Okay. All right, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 7th day of January 2020. If you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go to the homepage at CFRN.net. And over here in the right-hand column, this is 5-day free trial. Apply.CFRN.net. You can click on that, and we'll bring you to this page, EminiTradingSchool.com. On this page, we explain a whole bunch of things to you, but all we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number, and you can tell us the biggest trading challenge so we can tailor one-on-one training specifically for you. Hit the send button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link, okay? Because we don't know that you took the free trial until you click that link. The spreadsheet results. Well, we got the goal again today. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, as I said, is the 7th day of January, 2020. And this morning, we made 9 ticks on crude, 12 ticks in gold, and we lost 8 on the ES. That put us at plus 110 on the morning session. Today, it took 108 minutes and 7 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract, and we took a total of 8 trades so far today. So we're getting a slow start to the month, but every day we did get the goal. You see over here, we did get the goal every single day. And all right, 1, 2. Yeah, you see these numbers aren't right now. Since we started the new year, I have to redo the spreadsheet. Okay, and make sure that all the calculations are right. This should be. Yeah, the calculation for this, see that's 106, 206. Yeah. Anyway, on the month right now, it's saying we're up 266 and a quarter. That's over 4 days. And on the year, same thing. See, this number's not right. It's because this number's not right. But anyway, I'll fix all that up. And it'll all make sense to you at some point. But let's go over what happened and what didn't happen today. Okay. Now we start out over here. We missed this first trade right here, but we grabbed the second one. And that second one, we picked up 4 ticks. Then we got another opportunity over here, another 4 ticks. Then 3 ticks, and we missed that nice long trade right there. Too bad we missed that one. We had a shorting opportunity in here. We picked up a little bit of profit, and we got 1 tick on that move. Now during the break, looks like there was a long opportunity from right in here during the break. And then a second one from right here, but it may have been going into the high of the day at the time, because this is the high of the day. So if this was the high of the day, then we wouldn't have had a trade set up there. Okay, so there was some opportunity there on gold today. Moved around enough. The euro, there was just this one shorting opportunity right in here. That was closed down below that trend line. Okay, and then we had nothing else. Nothing. Crude oil. Let's see. on the crude. We started out here, picked up one tick there. We had a break even there. And it looks like I picked up one more tick, but I don't think I took credit for it. And over here, we picked up 8 ticks to give us a gold for the day and put us at +9. In here, there was a long opportunity. Then we had, you see how we had all these wicks right here? We really need to break out above that. And we finally did, but the slingshot was all messed up, not allowing us any trades. Okay, that was crude. Now the ES, Dwayne and I were talking this morning about the ES and what we expect it'll probably do. Because we have, right here, we have this weekly trading zone, and we also had the BBC on the 30-minute chart. And when it was down here, we were saying, you know, we'll probably get a trading opportunity on the way up there. And when it gets up there, it'll probably consolidate for a little bit and then come back down. And if we go back here like this, there was one trading opportunity on the way up. It did get there and it consolidated for half an hour and then it made its run back down. Now on the way back down, we really didn't have any shorting opportunities. It's too bad. We had one nice long one on the way up though. And I'm scrolling back to see if there was anything else that I missed earlier on. Yeah, this right here. We stopped out on the very first trade. Right there. That was our -8 ticks. And that, my friends, is it for the morning session. Let's go back here. Made 9 ticks in crude, 12 ticks in gold. We lost 8 ticks on the ES. That put us at +110 per contract on the morning session. Took 108 minutes and 7 trades to get our goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 per contract. And we took a total of 8 trades today. So the year is starting out pretty slow, but that's okay. That happens sometimes. You know, when you're really close to the holidays like we are. So on the month and on the year, now we're at 266.25. That's over 4 trading days. Okay. Now let's see. If you have not taken the free trial with us, go to the home page here at CFRN.net. Right here it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. Click on that, and you'll be brought to this page where all we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number. And you can tell us your biggest trading challenge so we can tailor one-on-one training specifically for you. Hit the send button. And once you hit that button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link, okay? If you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. Okay? Okay. And that is it. With that, we can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona. Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready. Okay. I'm guessing Dwayne is not ready. So, anyway. Over here. I had the weekly trading zones all messed up this morning. I'm just going to redo them. They're in the Telegram channel. For those of you guys that have access to the Telegram channel. Okay. So you can, let's see. Yeah, you can get them out of the Telegram channel. Okay. No, I don't want to use that. All right. Let me hit close on that. I just wanted to make sure that we have 32.35, 32.36. 32.35, 32.36. We do. But it's not showing the 32.36 low for some reason. But that is the weekly trading zone down below us. All right. All right. Does anybody have any questions that I have not answered? You can type them in right now if you want. All right. Okay. Yes. Oh, I'm here. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's good. You can take it back now if you want.
Recap of the recap.
Today it took 108 minutes and 7 trades to get to $100 per contract. There you go.
That's what we call a good bingo.
There's another one.
Another one in the can. Okay. Anything? I was in and out of the room this morning, but was there anything big? Any news other than, I mean, the economic news we already talked about? Anything I should know about?
Ninja Trader just contacted me about the changes.
Okay.
And I emailed that over to you.
Okay.
And
all right, I'll get on it right after the show.
Okay, I responded to him and said, we are working on it. And
whatever it is, I'll just grind my way through it to the best of my ability.
Okay. All right.
And I will do that right after the show.
Great.
Okay. Guys, let me ask you a question. I know that any of you who've been trading for any length of time, even if you're still in SEM, this applies to you. There are times that you put on a trade, everything's all lined up, whatever methodology or strategy you use, whether it's hours or something else that you've learned, and no sooner do you click that mouse, you trigger into the trade, and bang, you're at the target. No muss, no fuss. And then there's other times you click the mouse, you get triggered into the trade, it immediately backs up on you, then it moves forward, and it backs up, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Pretty soon, man, a half hour's gone by. You're lighting candles, you're burning sage and waving it around the room. For all I know, you're whacking the heads off chickens. I don't know. I never whack the heads off chickens, and I'm allergic to sage. But, no, just kidding, I'm not. But you know what I'm talking about. Some trades just work. I don't like that term much, but it seems to fit. And other trades, for the life of you, you can't figure out what happened. Because everything that you were supposed to do, all the rules in your methodology, you followed them to the tick. You did everything you could possibly do. And yet the trade or the market didn't do its part. Okay? Well, there's a reason for that. Now, you may have heard it said on this radio program, and I'm sure other places, that when you trade futures, because it's an around-the-clock market, 7 days a week, 6 days a week, 6.5, 5.5, however you want to count it. You know what I'm talking about. You've heard it said that you can sit down and just literally pluck money out of thin air. Now, you know what? That's true, but there's a caveat here, a big one. You have to do all the things that I just said. You follow your methodology to the tick. You do everything. You know, you even you even used your lucky body wash that morning when you showered. I mean, you've done everything you can do. Well, it's possible, in fact, it's probable, that as you were doing all the things that you were taught to do, the market was in a position that was not conducive to putting on a trade. So you see, I guess what I'm trying to say is the greatest method, the greatest strategy, the greatest indicators, all of that really won't do you a lot of good if in fact you're putting on the trade at a point in the market's timeline that isn't conducive to that particular trade. I think I might have an example right here. Yeah, I could probably use most any of these. Alright, here, let me throw this on there. That might clarify something. This is going to mean a lot to you, whether you use our strategy or not. Okay. Oh, this is perfect. Alright, price puts in a bottom here. You get a swing low. You get a little rally, you get a pullback. Now you got a higher low. Well, we know that's the beginning of a trend. Low, higher low. You might even come over here and go, well, I'll be doggone, it's even higher low. Okay, so you go long. Now, you might have gone long. This candle right here, see, there was a retracement in this candle. That's what gave you the second higher low. Okay, and so just as you were taking out that swing high, and this is a kind of popular way, you'll be taught this in some different places or read it in books, and there's not a lot of teaching going on out there. But so you get long right here, because that's what the book or the PDF said to do. What you don't know, what you don't see, what you don't understand is that right overhead is something we call the weekly trading zone. Now we've published these weekly zones since December 14th of 2009. We just had our 10-year anniversary. Okay. Now we know that when price approaches a weekly trading zone from below, there's a high probability that the market is going to find good resistance there. It may ultimately reject it, or it may just consolidate for a period of time longer than you would like. This is really a good example because price not only rallied up to that weekly trading zone, it also rallied up to what we call the BBC. Now, you got to call everything something. We call it the bull-bear cross. Because when price crosses above that green line, we go from looking for short trades to looking for long trades, bullish. And then when price gets below that green line, we go from looking for long trades to looking for short trades, bearish. Okay. When price approaches that BBC from below, we expect that to be good resistance. So here price comes down, puts in a nice swing low, rally coming. You got 9 indicators and 12 oscillators on your screen, and they're all screaming get long. Okay, so as price takes out this high, man, you put the pedal to the metal. What you don't see is you don't see this WTZ, which is a high probability spot for the market to find resistance. And you don't see the BBC, which is also a high probability spot for the market to find resistance. Now, if you're trading with us, you're going to see the potential for good resistance times 2. Here's the formula. I just made that up, of course, but GR to the second power. How about, I don't know how to make the second power sign. GR, good resistance, times 2. Okay? Now, this setup that I talked about, where you put in a low, maybe even get a higher low, developing a trend. Trend's got to start somewhere. So you get long, and man, this is sweet, because you figure, man, this thing is going to run at least up to this area here until it doesn't. As a CFRN trader, you don't get baited into this kind of a situation. Okay? As you're approaching this weekly trading zone and this BBC from below, you are a clever cat and you go, no, I need to let price get on the other side of that so I then have room to run up to that next zone. So what our traders do, rather than get long here or get long here, as we're taking out the low of that candle and coming back down through this zone, while the world's getting long here, our people are getting short here. This becomes one of those grinding, aggravating, oh my goodness, what went wrong? Well, in this perfect example I'm giving you, you did absolutely nothing wrong. You just didn't fully understand what the market was doing at that time. Now, our traders who got short here, as price took out the low of that candle, man, this thing just fell into their lap. It went from 32.41 down to 32.37. Beautiful 4-point trade. See the difference? So whatever it is you're banging your head against the wall today because something didn't go right, stop or wear a helmet, okay? Because you got to understand, number one, how markets work. And then once you understand how they work, with the help of our indicators, then you can actually see what the market's doing with how it works.
And if you break that down, Dwayne, to a smaller time frame, that's what I was showing earlier. You know, when we had said in the room, when price was at the big red candle coming off the lower zone.
Okay.
We had said then, look for price to get up toward the BBC. And it's also a weekly trading zone. The BBC was right in the middle of a weekly trading zone on a 30-minute chart. Yeah. And we had one trade opportunity on the way up that would have been good for about, I don't know, 4 points. I ended up missing it, but it was there. And it went right up there.
And everybody in the room saw it, and they heard you talk about it.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, we did that ahead of time. Okay.
Okay. So, folks, if I don't want to take up too much time, but if anything I said here, if it made perfect sense, that's awesome. You should be a CFRN trader. Maybe you already are. If it didn't fully make sense, do this. Call Valerie at 949-42-EMINI or send her an email, support@cfrn.net, and say, I'd like to talk with Dwayne about that thing he was showing at the beginning of the radio show today. She'll help you book a mentoring session, 45 minutes, no charge. If you're not a CFRN partner or passport holder, we will give you, Michael or I, either one, will give you a 45-minute, no-cost mentoring session. And it's not a 45, it's not like sitting through one of those timeshare presentations. It's not a 45-minute pitch. It's 45 minutes for us to explain whatever it is you don't understand, and then give you time to ask any additional questions that you might have about who we are, what we do, how we do it. Because remember, everything that we do, we're very transparent about. We don't hold anything back. We don't have any secrets in the cupboard. We do everything we do live in real time in front of a live audience every day. That's 2 hours in the room. And then the other 22 hours of the day, we do it live in real time in front of our traders in the Telegram channel. So, all right. Well, thanks for sharing that, Michael. I think that brought some clarity to some folks. Now, let me pull this artwork out of here. And what we're going to do, I'm going to move through the trade alerts here just real quick, guys. I spent a lot of time yesterday, milking each one, but I did that for a reason, because I want you to know that everything we do, everything that happens, we're very open about it. We put it on display for the world to see. We don't just send you emails when we have a great day, trying to pump the pump. We communicate the same thing in the same way every day, no matter what kind of day it is, because that's the truth about trading. As a trader, you're going to have every kind of day. You're going to have the days that make you feel like a superhero. Be careful. And you're going to have days that make you want to crawl up under your desk and get into that fetal position. Don't do that, okay? Any day that you find yourself at either end of that emotional spectrum, call us, call Valerie, set up a meeting with Michael and I. We'll either pull you out from under the desk, all right, or we'll grab you by the ankles and pull you back down to earth, all right? Because we want this to not be some flash in the pan for you. If this is what you want, if you want to learn how to trade for a living, Michael and I are willing to go the distance with you. If you don't give up on yourself, we won't give up on you. We'll work with you as long as you're an active partner. We'll work with you till the clouds part, and then you can literally teach us how to do this. Okay? All right. Let me grab my Telegram channel. That little bit of news, it's not that big a bit, so I'm going to let it slide for the moment. I'm going to pull up my Telegram channel. And if we have time at the end of the show, I'll give it to you. First thing I want to do is go to my recap that Valerie is so kind to send me each morning, right before the show. Today's Tuesday. So we have really 1 day under our belt so far. Here's what's happened. We start Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern. We just... Yeah, there you go, for all the world to see. Not only did I screw up the numbering somehow, I screwed up how to spell screwed up. That's how transparent we are. So, we've had 24 alerts so far this week. It's only Tuesday morning, or Tuesday afternoon. That's more alerts than we had all last week. Now, there was a holiday, but it also has to do with market behavior. You see, we don't put up alerts just to entertain you or ourselves. We put out alerts when opportunity presents itself. So if there's no opportunity presenting itself, well, then there's nothing to alert. So out of 24, one never triggered. We got 11 still in the wings. I put a bunch out this morning. We've had 12 actionable alerts so far. One of those have stopped out. Okay. Now, if I switch gears real quick, jump over here, I can show you this. All right. Now, What did I say? We've already had 24 alerts this week by Tuesday morning. Last week we had 18 the whole week long. 18 of them were actionable. That means they all triggered, and nothing got stopped out. We averaged 20% getting stopped out per week. Our last quarter was pretty good. It was only 14%, but let's count on 20. So far, week 25, let's see. Thumbs up means we found the target. Price found the target. So S&P short, and then we hedged that. We sold the S&P, and then we hedged it with a buy. They both, that's called two-sided action. They both found the target. Sold the Dow, sold the Russell, sold the NQ. This one never triggered. This was a Dow hedge to buy. This was an NQ hedge to buy that got stopped out. S&P short, Dow short, crude oil long, crude oil short. Gold looks like it has a triggered. S&P long. Got a duplicate in there somehow. And then these are all ones that I've just put out so far today, and we'll see. Tomorrow I'll show you what happened with these, whether they hit the target or get stopped out or don't trigger. We'll show them all to you. As soon as a trade, when opportunity develops, all of our traders are instantly notified, messaged in our private Telegram channel. And then once the trade is complete, in other words, it reaches its target or gets stopped out, that information immediately becomes a matter of public record. Now let's jump to the Concierge Trade Alerts, which I managed to get out last night at 7 p.m. Eastern. I do my best to get them out as soon as I can after the Globex Open each evening. If you want to grab a screenshot, feel free. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. So on the S&P, now let me get my bearings. 7 p.m. Eastern, that's going to be 1900 hours on this chart. So that's right there. The alert said to consider being long 32.47. So that's going to be about right there. Pretty close. 32.47. All right. So from 32.47 to 32.49, that's 2 points. Now, the weekly trading zone overhead is always the trade to target. On a long trade, on a short trade, it's always the weekly trading zone below. That's just how that works. We talked yesterday about everybody crowing about, man, the way to, kill it in the markets, not terminology we use, is to just get 2 points a day out of the S&P, but nobody ever actually shows you how to do it. Okay, let me show you how to do it. You get long at 32.47 and you take your 2 points at 49. Now, did we continue on up to 53? We did. But for the sake of this discussion, looking for 2 points. So here's 47 to 49, back below the trigger, 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 47 to 49. Looks to me like that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how you take 2 points a day out of the S&P. In this case, 5 times. Now, is this an anomaly? Am I showing this off because, wow, look at me? No, this happens all the time. I told you this yesterday. I guess I'll be telling you the same thing again tomorrow because we say the same stuff every day. We're so boring. But we were going to hire dancing girls, but then we knew that would be totally politically and socially unacceptable, so we kiboshed that idea. We do have a seafood buffet, so please help yourself. Don't forget to tip your waiter. All right, just kidding. 5 triggers, 1 alert. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. Is it always 5 times? No. I think yesterday it was 2. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4. It's whatever the market chooses to do. We have no power over that. We also said, if the opportunity presents itself, go short the S&P at 32.28. And as we can see, that opportunity has not presented itself. Okay. However, these numbers are good for the entire session and or until the next set of numbers come out. So keep your eyes peeled. All right, on the Dow, 1900 hours last night right here. We said to consider being a long 28,708. The swing high was 732. That's 24 points. That's basically $120 per contract traded. Sort of the equivalent of 2 points in the S&P. S&P is 50 a point, 2 points, $100. The Dow pays $5 a point, so 20 points, same thing as 2 points in the S&P. So we did it once, we did it twice, we did it 3 times, and 28,708. We didn't do it that time. Wait a minute. Hold on there, cowboy. 2708 to 32. I better draw a line. I'm going to try to do this off the top of my head, but maybe I should just draw a line. All right. So 2808 up to 32. That is 24 points, right? Yes. All right. So on this one, it only made it up to 19. So that's 11 points. And then on this trigger, it exceeded and got all the way up to 39. So that's $150 per contract traded. We also said if the opportunity presents, consider being short the Dow, 28,540. That's what it looks like when the market doesn't do what you expect it to do. Swing low, 29. That's 11 points. That's $55 per contract traded. This is when the market does the next high probability thing. This is when the market does the next high probability thing. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like when it doesn't. And remember, it's always going to do one or the other. Okay? Okay. So the Russell, long 1669. And we put in a swing high at, well, that swing high is 6840. No, 6880. So we just barely triggered here. We got 4 ticks on the other side of the trigger. That's again what it looks like when it doesn't do the next high probability move. The flip side on the Russell was 1657. Right there. Put in a swing low at 54. So, well, it's 2.9. If it were 3, it'd be $150. You could call it $140 per contract traded. So that's what it looks like when it does. Okay, I'm showing you what it looks like when it does and when it doesn't. If we jump over to the NQ, last night we said to consider being long 88.77. That's way up here. Swing high was 89.75. Swing high 94.75. So from 77 to 94, that's 7 points at $20 a point. That's $240 per contract traded. And then over here, we got up to 88. So from 77 to 88, that's 11. That's, oh, hang on. NQ long 77. We made it up to 88. That's 11 points. $220 bucks. $20 a point. On the short side for the NQ, consider being short 87.90. And we obviously have not been in that territory. Crude oil. Last night we said to consider being short crude 62.55. 62.55 is right there. The swing low was 62.30. So from 55 to 30, it's $250 per contract traded. I better draw the line here too. 62.55. Probably help if I open this baby up. There we go. So we want to be at 62.55. Okay. So 62.55. 62.55 down to, come on. It's $250 per contract traded. Then this trigger dropped from 55 to 48. And then this trigger dropped from 55 to 45. That's $100. This one dropped from 55 down to 11. So we'll call that $450 per contract traded, just to be conservative. And then on this one, we dropped from 55 to 32. So we'll call that $400 per contract traded. Now remember, all over the internet, places you don't even want to go, you're going to find people talking about this. Unfortunately, that's where the conversation usually ends. Not with us. And we can talk about it too, or we can show it to you over and over and over, just like I'm doing right here, right now. Okay? Now, which would you prefer? You get to call the shot. Okay? Last but not least in my kit bag, I got gold. Alright, 1900 hours right here. On gold, we said to consider being short 1545. Never got there. On the long side, if the opportunity presents, consider being long 1588. We haven't gotten there either. Okay, gold's been on a tear, and we did not want to get chopped up in any kind of a In fact, let me show you what those numbers look like with the chart scaled properly. The short side is 1545. The long side, 1588. Now that's a lot of space, but that's for a reason. Because after this, we expect wide-ranging consolidation. So the market right now is making up its mind. We teach our traders every night when the static Concierge Trade Alert report comes in. Go to the charts of the markets that you trade, draw your lines on the sand, and really as long as price is between those lines, if there's enough space like this, absolutely, you can trade shorts. On the range chart, you'll be given plenty of opportunities as we work our way up or work our way down. If you're trading the larger time frame, long as price is here, walk the dog, make a sandwich, you know, sit in a recliner, watch a TV show that your wife likes, you know, instead of football and wrestling, you know, maybe watch something that she enjoys. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And it's so simple. Truth's like that. Isn't it, Michael? Michael's on the phone. All right, guys, I said I wasn't going to hold you long, and I'm not going to. Kevin asked in the chat box, what do you use for stops on these trades? Kevin, on the Concierge Trade Alerts and on the Logic 247 alerts, we do not risk more than $300 per contract per trade. We teach our traders a 3-step methodology to determine if an alert has an appropriate stop loss that embraces that guideline of $300. Now, I have traders with larger accounts who have no problem risking more than $300 per contract per trade. But our guideline, and this is discretionary trading, so ultimately you call the shot. You get to choose what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, etc. But my take on it is if it costs you more than $300 to find out, that's per contract, if your narrative is valid, okay? If it costs more than $300 for the ticket, for the price of admission, you should either, well, you go through the 3-step method I teach you, and if you still don't arrive at a good place to put that stop loss, then you wait for the next trigger, or you just go look at one of the other markets. Because everything we do is fluid across all markets and all time frames. The method we teach you works the same on the S&P as it does on the Dow, on crude, on gold, on the NQ. What we have, what we offer, what we teach is unique. You won't find it anywhere else. Now, I'm not saying you won't find anything better, because you might. Depends on how you define better. Part of the way that we define better is we haven't changed a thing in, I think it's about 7 years. Not a rule, not a line of code, not nothing, not no way, not no how. And I know that, you know, a lot of these rooms, after a weekend, you know, the guru comes back in really pumped up Monday morning because he's discovered some new thing over the weekend. And boy, he's hot to trot. Until he starts trying to actually use it in front of real people in a live market, because he was just using historical charts and back testing over the weekend. Oh my gosh, now he feels a little bit embarrassed. So when you ask a question, he snaps your head off. Not because he's a bad person, because he's embarrassed. I used to not like those guys, because Michael and I had to put up with them until we learned how to trade, until we learned how markets work. Now I just feel sorry for them. I really do. And I talked a little bit about that yesterday, so I won't rehash it again today. But that's a great question, Kevin. I'm glad you asked it, because in the live training room, we use a 8-tick hard stop on every trade. Here's why. We don't want you having to, we want your focus to be on spotting the setup, knowing when the setup is there, because everything we do is clearly defined. Okay? The rules of engagement are carved in stone, haven't been changed in, I think it's 7 years now. That's where we want your focus to be. Spotting the setup, executing, managing, taking your profit goal for the day, and ringing your own bell. Okay? Now, if and when you decide that after you've learned the core methodology, and that's where the rubber meets the road. See, everything that I do and everything that Michael does, under the hood, it's the same thing. It looks very different because I use a 30-minute chart. He uses the range chart. But he and I decided long ago that if we were to use a larger time frame in the live training room, you might see 1 or 2 trade setups a day. Boy, it's going to take a long time to learn something like that. But since everything's identical, no matter what market and what time frame, let's teach you on a fast time frame so you get to see lots of trade setups, lots of executions every single day. That shortens the learning curve. Now, as you learn how to take a couple points a day out of the market consistently on the range chart, you might never want to do anything else. Because we all know we can make as much money as we need to make with 2 points a day, or the equivalent thereof, by increasing the number of contracts as you earn the right to trade more contracts. Now, you know our belief. We do not want you going live until you've put together 10 consecutive days in a row in sim. That's very important. Throwing real money at the market will not make you a trader. It will prevent you from ever becoming a trader. So no matter what methodology or strategy you use, you must force yourself to become consistently profitable with that methodology before you take live money out into the market. The way we define it is 10 consecutive days in a row. Okay? 10 days in a row. Now, once you've done that, our blueprint gives you the green light to go live with 1 contract. We want you to stay with the 1 contract until you've increased your account balance by $2,000. Once you do that, then the blueprint's going to give you the green light to add your 2nd contract. That is a big day. That's the day you gather your neighbors, you maybe order up a bouncy house for the kids, and you literally dance in the street. Because that's the day you become a trader. When you put money in an account somewhere, a futures account, that doesn't make you a trader. Those flashy business cards that say, my name, trader, that doesn't make you a trader. When the janitor comes by to polish the nameplate on your door that says trader, that doesn't do it either. When you learn to be consistently profitable and go live, increase your account balance by $2,000, and then add your 2nd contract and every contract thereafter with profit you earned in the market. Not somebody else, not some guru calling out trades, but you. When you add that 2nd contract with profit you earn in the market, that's when you become a trader. And if you'll follow the rules in the blueprint and not deviate, which means you're going to have to exercise patience and discipline, you'll stay a trader. You won't blow up your account. Now, it would be a little too bold of me to say that you'll never blow up another account with us, because you can. You're going to have to work real hard. You're going to have to break a lot of rules. But the bottom line is, if you have 2 days back to back where you don't reach your goal in 10 trades or less, the blueprint's going to escort you back to the simulator. And that's not a walk of shame. I do not know one consistently profitable trader who has not gone from sim to live, back to sim, back to live, back to sim at least one more time, and then live. Okay? It's a Warren Buffett kind of decision. He doesn't even trade futures. What I'm trying to say is it's an intelligent business decision. Floundering around out there, obviously things aren't going well. You don't know why things aren't materializing. So you just keep, throwing money at the market hoping something will stick. That's not going to fix the problem. So you catch those 2 days back to back. You don't make your goal. By then, you're a partner, you're a passport holder. You don't have to go through Valerie. You just go straight to the mentoring page on our website. You find a day and a time compatible with your schedule. You book it. And then either Michael or I, whoever you choose, we show up at that time. We spend 45 minutes with you. We have a conversation. We're not typing questions at a chat box. We have a conversation. You're able to see my charts. If you want me to look at your charts to make sure you have them set up properly and all that, we can flip it around and do it that way. Okay? So thank you for that question. It was timely. It was on point. And if anything I said didn't make sense, please ask another question. And if you want additional help, just book a free mentoring session through Valerie. Let's see. Fred says, I am on the trial and in the second day. Wanted to let you know that Bert from Daniels was extremely helpful with setting up my chart and even discussing some trades. He was awesome. Signed, Fred. Thank you, Fred. Thank you very much. And yes, I agree with everything you said. That's why we love Bert, and that's why he's been our broker for so many years. Not because we get a finder's fee or some sliver of the commissions that you might pay if you trade with them. No. Michael and I looked at a long laundry list of people that we could use as our go-to broker, and Bert just stood out head and shoulders above everyone else. Because he is good, he is talented, he is wise, he is a Marine. I learned a long time ago you can't say somebody was a Marine because Semper Fi, once a Marine, always a Marine. But he's got that kind of character. And he's promised me that if the bit, and I said bit as in Bitcoin, if the bit ever hits the fan, I got a spot in his foxhole. Just reminding you, Bert. So Bert's blushing. He probably won't come on and say anything right now, but thank you for taking the time to say that, Fred, because so often in life, if we go to a store and the clerk does something to aggravate us, oh, we're so quick to run find the manager. I want to see the manager. That lady over on checkout 5, she looked at me funny. We do that, don't we? When was the last time you went to the store and a clerk possibly, not just gave you ordinary good service, that's what you pay for, but maybe went a little bit out of their way to do something to help you out? When's the last time you went running looking for that manager? I want to see the manager. You got a superstar over there on checkout 5. When's the last time I do that? I make myself do, well, let me change that. I want to do that. Why? Because I used to be the other guy. Clerks would cringe when I came in the front door of any store. Oh, God, which one of us is he going to hang out to dry today? I wasn't a nice guy. I wasn't. It's not the fault of my upbringing. It's the fault of my own silly decisions that I made for 20 decades. 20 decades, well, that's pretty old. 20 years. From 17 to 37 was kind of a black hole for me. Thank God at 37, my wife and I made a conscious decision to return to the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and our grandmothers. Yeah. So, think about that the next time in a store. The person that maybe doesn't give you the best service, we don't know what's going on in their life. They could have a child at home sick. They want to be at home taking care of that child. But they can't even get 40 hours at work. They need every moment they can on the clock so they don't have to shoplift the Mucinex from the very place they work. You follow? We don't know. Now, not only do I make it a point to go find the manager when time permits, when someone gives me exceptional service, in any kind of a store or retail location. The ones that act naughty, I pray for them. Sometimes if the Spirit moves me, if there's nobody behind me in line, I might just lean over and go, hey, I can tell you're having a rough day. I just pray right now that God would bless you and that this day would turn around, and whatever's wrong, I hope this becomes the best day of your life. I've never once had anybody throw cold water on me because of that. Now, don't make it a bigger thing than it is. Don't break out the holy water and start dancing around and anointing them, but don't do that, okay? But there'll be other times too when there's a line of people behind you and they're all ticked off too. They're more ticked off than the clerk. Just look them in the eye, lock and load for a minute, and as you walk to your car, quietly, have a conversation with God. God, I don't know what's going on in that person's life, but something's not right. Could you help them, Lord? Just those kinds of prayers, if we would all start praying those kinds of prayers, we would live in a much different world. So, I'm going to leave you with that, guys, unless there's another question. Now, I've done a couple of 3-4 hour shows back to back these last few days. Last few weeks, I've done a few 3-hour shows. So there's plenty for you to watch in the archive section at youtube.com/CFRN. Years of radio shows. Now, we don't accidentally delete the ones where we had a rough day. No, they're all there. Every one of it. If we're on the air, it's in the archive. Go, watch, pick days at random, fast forward. You don't have to sit through the whole thing. Get to the meat, okay, where you see the recaps, where you see myself or Michael doing a little bit of teaching, okay? Tomorrow, we'll see what tomorrow brings. But for today, I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to make sure, Valerie, could you copy and paste that message from Fred, because Bert may not be around this morning, and I would like for him to also know that someone took the time to compliment him for his continued support of CFRN and all of our clients. You know, Bert's, you know, let me say it this way. I probably shouldn't say it at all. Bert's broker for some real heavyweights, and I'm going to leave it at that. But you know what? He treats our clients, people who are just learning how to trade. Maybe, you know, it took you a while to put together that $3,000 to open your first account. You're going to get the same treatment, the same service out of him as if you had deposited $3 million. That's the kind of guy he is. That's why we do business with him. All right, let's jump to our good word for the day. This is how we wrap up each and every show. Let me pull my notes up. Yesterday we talked about not giving up on people. And I kind of refer to that store clerk in a way. That's sort of a hangover from yesterday. If you missed yesterday's good word for the day, you should check it out. Now, I've talked to you all many times that each of us has a unique gift that God baked into the cake when He created us. Romans 12:6 says, God has given us different gifts. In ministry, like any other field, trading, we need to understand the individual process that comes with each person's unique and individual gifting. Karen Williams, president of Strategic Media Solutions, writes that a ministry is composed of several gifted individuals led by a common vision God has birthed in the leader. These individuals can typically be grouped into 3 categories. Now, Karen, because of her position, she's writing about ministry, but folks, this applies to any field of endeavor. If you've ever been a part of a startup or a new company, you're going to hear things here. You're going to go, I resemble that remark. The individuals can typically be grouped into 3 categories. There's always the visionary. Then there's the process-oriented. Then there's the task-oriented. There's an emotional response for each person in their area of giftedness as it relates to the birth and successful completion of a vision. A visionary, and every company, every startup has one, otherwise they're not going to be around very long. The visionary gets an emotional high when the vision becomes clear to them. When they present it to those who will be charged with actually making it happen, they think those in attendance will be as high as they are upon hearing this perfectly clear, world-changing vision. For a visionary, when the vision is fully clear, it's effectively 100% complete. That's why they can go on to create and receive other visions long before the first one is truly manifested. But for the process-oriented person, remember we got 3 types. We got the visionary, we got the process-oriented, we got the task-oriented. For the process-oriented person, the vision that has been presented is on hold until it can be translated into processes, individual processes. Their emotional high is, for them, it comes when the processes are clearly defined and documented, and they fully feel with 100% of all that they are, that they'll be able to successfully support the completion of the vision. You see how one depends upon the other? So, you see, their vision doesn't come until well after the vision has been presented. For the task-oriented person, this is the third person, and these can be groups of people within an organization. For the task-oriented person, the vision that's been presented is also on hold, as they haven't yet been given anything to do. Their emotional high comes with the completion of the actual tasks themselves. They're the people who need a things to do list, and they need to be marking stuff off that list. Blah, blah, check. Blah, 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 check. Blah, 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 check. That's where they're emotional. And you see, each one of these 3 individuals or groups of people, they need to recognize this about the others. If they don't, chaos will erupt. Because the visionary will look at the person who's supposed to be carrying out the tasks. Yeah. Man, what's up with that guy? He's just sitting on his butt reading the funny paper. He's not doing anything. Well, it's not his turn at bat yet. First comes the vision, then comes the process, then comes the task. Now, if we look at that through the other end of the of the lens, or look at through the opposite way. Turn the telescope around, look at it the other way. How about that? The task-oriented person, as they're busy checking things off their list, blah, check, blah, 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 check. They look over at the visionary who's got a, they're working hard. They're sweating it down on the production floor, checking things off that things to-do list. And they look up on the catwalk. Here sits the visionary with a steamy mug of coffee, just staring out the window like he doesn't have a care in the world. And so they look up at that guy and go, hey, what the heck is with that guy? Doesn't he have to work too? He already did his work. And you don't know what's going on in his head right now. His last vision is what's got you down on the production floor going check, check, check. You don't know what's going through his head up there. He may be about to show you the next Tesla or the next iPhone or the next Keurig coffee maker. He says as he slurps his Keurig. Yeah, that was just for effect, sorry. I hope this makes sense. Now, it was written about ministry, but it's true about any type of organization, any kind of business. And it's the trading shoe certainly fits this foot. So the next time you look across the way and somebody is not doing what you think they should be doing, take a moment to figure out exactly where they fit in to this wonderful picture. Chances are, if God had, it's almost assured that if God's hand was in this, if he brought this group of people together, the way he did with my previous company, HandyNet, and the way he did with CFRN, I didn't go hunt these people down. I didn't hire a head hunter. God brought Michael and I together. And then he brought Bert along. There's a whole long story behind Bert. I won't tell you that story today. Most of you have heard it. I fought Bert. I didn't even know him yet. I said I wasn't going to tell that story today, but God wouldn't give up because God can see. He has a unique point of view. He can see around the corner. We can't. He can see over the mountain. We can't. He knew that for this thing to work, Bert was necessary. So someday I'll take you through the whole story of how I finally just broke down and said, okay, I'll meet the guy. The rest is his story. That's with a capital H. So, where do you get your high? Are you the visionary guy? The process guy? The task guy? All of us are equal. The visionary simply has more commas in his paycheck. Hey, that's just the way capitalism works. And while capitalism may not be perfect, sure beats the pants off of anything else I've ever seen anybody offer. So I'm gonna go with that big C. All right. Figure out where you are. Know who you are. Understand what you contribute to the bigger picture. And stay humble before God. And whatever company you run, whatever type of business you have, I don't care if you are creating microchips, maybe you're in aerospace, maybe you have a lawn service. Doesn't matter. My last company, which was successful beyond human imagination, not because of me, only because at 37, as I returned to the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and my grandmother, the only thing I knew how to say at that point was, yes, Lord. He brought a group of people together. that did things that still blows people's mind today. That's what he did with CFRN. That's what he'll do with your business, with your church, with your ministry, with your rock band. Okay? Get him involved. Where two or more are gathered, he said, I'll show up. And he does. Now, here's what I did with the previous company. Every day for 30 minutes after lunch, we had this huge conference room, held about 60 people. We would all gather in a big circle. Now, when people returned from lunch, they clocked back in. Go to lunch, clock out, go to lunch, come back from lunch, clock in, and then go to the meeting room. For 30 minutes, we had what we called God's time, because I didn't know what else to call it. So I tried to think of something clever, but hey, that worked for many years. For 30 minutes, we would just go around the circle, and whoever wanted we didn't actually have a talking stick, but one guy had a cane. Sometimes we would fool around and pass that around, but you get my point. Some days people would have stuff on their heart that they wanted to talk about and share. They knew they were in a safe place. They knew there were people, they were working with people that they could trust, that weren't going to use it against them, weren't going to make fun of them an hour later because of it. People would open up. We always opened with some scripture. We always had someone say a few words. We would take turns who got to say the few words. We would end each 30-minute session as a company holding hands. And yeah, some of the guys, it kind of creeped them out at first because they had to hold hands with another guy. Get over it. You think I'm joking? I'm actually being serious, but they got over it. Oh, I had one guy that was an atheist. He always wanted to turn, and he was willing to play along as long as he got to turn and face the opposite way and stare at the wall while holding hands. So, you think I'm making that? I'm not. It's true. Well, why do you want to work for us if you are so against what we believe as a people, as a company? He said, well, I just don't believe all that stuff that y'all believe, but I can see that you guys do, and you guys all treat me with dignity and respect. Because he had some affirmities that maybe out in the rest of the world, in the normal workplace, maybe people wouldn't have been so kind to him. That's my good word for the day. That's your good word that's God's good word for the day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with his mercy and with his grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.